you today. For those of you who don't know us, we are the founders of Canadian Frontline Nurses.
Yes!
And we are proud advocates for medical freedom. Our mission is to unite as many nurses as possible, educate the public, and bring the ethics back into health care. We envision a future with a bigger focus on preventative care, more natural healing, and the well-being of a person as a whole. We are here to hold the lamp so that others can see our light and be empowered to stand for the same. We are nurses doing what is right and standing up for the truth. My name is Sarah Choujounian. I've been a nurse since 2004. Today I want to do something a little different and share my nursing story with you in hopes of awakening and inspiring the sleeping lions to stand in their power and do the same. Yes. My speech today is primarily aimed towards police officers, but also applies to all guardians of humanity, teachers, nurses and doctors, pastors, social workers, politicians, and parents, amongst many others. Here goes. Before I got into nursing, I was literally drinking my life away. I was disgusted by this world and had no clue on how I could ever fit in. All that changed when I entered nursing school, and even more once I started the clinicals. It brought excitement back into my life. I was passionate about caring for the sick, and most importantly, it added value to my life when nothing else could. It came so naturally to me. I felt empowered and alive while nursing. I knew immediately I had found my calling.
Amen. Yes!
I worked in a nursing home for the greater part of my career. I loved my job. It brought me hundreds of grandparents who shared their wisdom with me and gave me love I cherished greatly. I've cried many tears and had the privilege to share precious last moments with countless residents and their families. I'm so grateful and humbled to have had the chance to live that experience, to experience all that genuine love. One thing that always disturbed me about nursing homes, though, is how obvious it is that the government doesn't put much value on these seniors. Their diet consists of powdered eggs, canned mandarins, cheap box puddings, and flavored sugar water. It's very obvious that the purpose of nursing home is not for giving our elderly the best care possible, but to try and get them as much profit as possible out of them. That's why a huge red flag went up in my head on the day the government decided to shut down the entire economy to protect these same vulnerable peoples. When the news came out, I thought it was a joke and that no one would buy it. I thought everyone at work would feel the same way. I was dead wrong.
Yes.
At first, I was very vocal about my views, but I quickly realized that this may backfire in a really bad way. The union, for which I held the position of chief steward, made it very clear that they didn't have our backs. I was asked if I cared for the lives of my residents when I questioned our rights when it came to the testing.
Yes, you do.
I was scared. I'm a single mom. I can't afford to lose my job.
We got you, girls.
I got you!
So I became very quiet. I felt sick. That wasn't what I signed up for. I always thrived on being the voice of the people, but the people didn't know they were being fooled, and even worse, some were now threats reporting every little disobedience to management and public health. I've been silenced many times in my life, and one of the things I learned through my healing journey is that finding your voice along with standing in your truth is the only way out of the darkness. When the second lockdowns hit, I just couldn't take it anymore. Rage fueled my body. I was a ticking time bomb. I could no longer hold back. I started speaking up, first online, and a few weeks later I found myself founding Nurses Against Lockdowns and speaking at my first protest. I finally felt free again. It was absolutely liberating. And then immediately after, everything I had feared would happen pretty much did happen. I was fired within the same week from my first job and lost my second job not too much longer after. My license is under investigation. We were defamed on national news in Canada and the US, being called domestic terrorists by some, and even had the RCMP come knock at our door. The online mob that followed the media attacks were brutal. There were definitely moments where I was scared for my life, but I pulled through, much quicker than I thought, actually. And then something phenomenal and unexpected happened. Only a few days after being ostracized, I was flooded with a huge wave of love by supporters from all over the world, and it hasn't stopped since. Countless opportunities arose from standing up for what is right. I've connected with some of the most beautiful souls to walk on this planet. I got to finally write a chapter in a book, and best of all, we founded Canadian Frontline Nurses and are now building our own healthcare system. Our own healthcare system, which will be by the people, for the people. It's literally what I always dreamed of. I guess I had to take a huge risk, a leap of faith to get it. I believe that's what awaits all of us who do what's right and align our values with our actions. You must all trust and believe in this process.
Yes.
In nursing school, one of the first and foremost important things we learn about is the code of ethics. We were taught that when the industry turns against the people, that it's our duty to agitate and advocate for what is best for our communities. I'm proud to say that I stood by my pledge to do no harm. And if that means that I'm no longer included in the industry, so be it. I'm now a free nurse. No longer a captive agent, and that gives me the freedom and opportunity to be unapologetically the people's nurse. I wore my uniform today because I want to show people who think that I'm no longer a nurse that nothing is further from the truth. I feel like more of a nurse now than I ever felt before. Nursing doesn't come from a piece of paper. It's a calling. It comes from the heart. They can never take that away from me. And same goes to you. All right. I know many police officers are like us. You chose your profession due to your love of humanity. You took an oath to serve and protect, even if it meant that you may be put in harm's way and not come back home at the end of the day. I have so much respect for that. I want you all to know that we are thankful for your service and we truly appreciate. We understand that this is very difficult for you, but we are running out of time. Every minute that passes, an elderly person dies alone, a child overdoses, or a businessman commits suicide. We are witnessing crimes against humanity in every aspect of our society. Please, armor up with courage and step to the plate. The time has come for you to decide. Are you with us or are you against us? Every occupation has its leaders. We are calling for the bravest of all cops to please step forward and lead the path for others to follow. You already know who you are. Don't wait for someone else to do it or from a sign from the outside. Look within and listen to your intuition. You are the one. We the people are counting on you. Revolutions are never easy and require sacrifice. But losing our jobs and material things are nothing compared to losing our rights and freedoms for the upcoming generations. I don't know about you guys, but my kids are my life. Without them, I probably wouldn't still be here. So I'm literally willing to die for this, for their future. I'm all in. And if you're a guardian of humanity, you should be too. The time has come for each and every one of us to stand in our power. You are the hero of your story. You decide what's going to happen to you. Being free is our birthright. Please, do not let hate and fear take over our humanity. Spread love and don't be silent in the face of oppression. The world needs for you to be awake and stand up for what is right. It starts with you. Together, we will overcome and we will rise through the ashes of the matrix. Who's with me? Thank you so much. I want you all to please welcome Kristen, my amazing partner, first time here in Toronto, Kristen Nago.
Hello, Toronto! Stand up to hypocrisy. If you don't, the hypocrites will teach. Stand up to ignorance, because if you don't, the ignorant will run free to spread ignorance like a disease. Stand up for the truth. If you don't stand up for all that is right, then understand that you are part of the reason there is so much wrong in the world. That was by Susie Chasm. I am Kristen Nagel, a nurse, a holistic nutritionist, and a mom. I've been publicly slandered and defamed in the media, terminated, and my license is under investigation for speaking truth and standing up for freedoms. I have even received a cease and desist letter to stop referring to myself as a graduate from the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition,
I can't believe it.
and to stop referring to myself as a registered holistic nutritionist. The college has told nurses they would be reprimanded if they went against the narrative. They've tried to silence me, bully me, and break me. Little did they know that the harder they tried to take away my voice, they only made it louder and stronger. As nurses, we have all pledged with Florence Nightingale before God and in the presence of this assembly to pass our lives in purity and practice our profession faithfully, agreeing to never take or administer any harmful drug. By committing to elevate the standard of our profession, we must recognize that we are the first and last line of defense in our society for decency, integrity, and compassion. We have the first and last opportunity to do the honorable and dignified thing for people. This applies to everyone in a place of power over humanity. Police, teachers, doctors. We must remember why we entered into these professions, what called us to be in these areas, to look out for our fellow neighbor, to want to protect them, help them, and make a positive impact in their lives and that of the community. This last year has allowed me to remove any remaining barriers to unabashedly and unapologetically be myself. I am choosing to go against the grain, to be rejected, and to not fit in. In doing so, I have never felt more free, more confident in my skin, and more connected to community. I am finally becoming the person I was always meant to be, and it is liberating. What seemed frightening at first has been the best decision I could have ever made. At first it felt as though a huge door was being closed on who I identified myself as an NICU nurse. Little did I realize how much more waited for me to really stand in my purpose. We were standing on the right side of history, and we will change its course one brave step at a time. It's time we all find our courage, our bravery, our voices, to stand firm and united in truth, to do the right thing. Each and every one of us who have bravely attended today are here for a reason. We are here living and breathing in this time by intention. It is not a coincidence that we've all found each other and are uniting and gathering in solidarity. We are here to be the light workers, the change makers, the healers.
Yes!
We are allowing our rights and freedoms and sovereignty to be removed at an alarming rate. When we no longer have autonomy over our own bodies and our children's, we have lost everything. This alone should terrify everyone and encourage more to speak out.
Yes!
As we stand here together, we must also remember that our freedoms cannot be taken away. They have always been ours, and we have always had them. We need to exercise them, and remember, we do not need the government's permission. We need our own permission, which is protected under our Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which I believe, as police officials, it is also your duty to protect.
Yep.
The government is meant to be our public servant. They are not here to look out for us or have our best interests in mind. We should not have to fight for our freedoms because there are not anyone's to take.
Exactly.
Yep.
We have to remember we are free and we always have been. What we have allowed to be taken away, it is now our responsibility to reclaim it. We are here uniting together and calling out more nurses, more police, more doctors and teachers to stand with us. I know we can all be an example to the rest of the world. It is our time to rise, to stand for a better world, and to take action daily in the practice of our sacred callings. We must follow our promise, devoting ourselves to the welfare of those committed to our care. It is now time to rise together for the future of our children and for all of humanity. So let's learn from these lessons that history has taught us and correct the course of the future with our brave actions. We have everything that we need to stand strong and do what is right. And together we are unstoppable. Together we can make lasting change for ourselves, for our kids, and for our future. Today we are taking back our freedoms and our health.
Thank you!
Never underestimate the significance of one person standing up for freedom and the ripple effect that it can have. I know this because I started as just one person inspired by another that stood before me. Now this is kind of my signature closing. So I invite you all to hold the hands of your neighbor or place your hand on your heart and close your eyes. Breathe in deeply and exhale. Feel that power flowing through you. Breathe in. Feel your lungs expand. Feel that life. Exhale. Feel it from your head